All right, we are live. Welcome to the 19th edition of the Cyberpunk Community Podcast, and I really hope it's streaming and everything's going fine. So we are here today without the Mad Queen so far, but we do have, of course, the two intrepid explorers in cyberspace, the Last Known Meal
Hello, it is great to be here.
and the Neon Arcade.
What's
And
up, people?
And you guys are like Butch and Cassidy.
Love the intro.
We'll take that.
Yeah. So all right. So today, it's been a really busy week as far as like interesting announcements for Cyberpunk, because there's been some stuff that's come out, and I hate to say I didn't tell you guys so, but I mean just and not even our fans, but the regular journos at large. Remember how they said that they were, that they were working on 3 cyberpunk projects, and then they said, oh, correction, we're only working on one cyberpunk project, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. We are for sure not working on any other cyberpunk games at all. Remember when they said that? And they said, hey, just believe us because our, Polish translating screwed up. But nobody actually checked. So it turns out they've announced two new games. Now, one of them, they are not necessarily like hand and fist involved in, but the card game they certainly are. And it is rumored right now, no leaks, no nothing. It is rumored that this might be one of the digital app games that they're working on. So let's start with the card game, then we'll talk about the board game, then we'll kind of talk about the rest of the news that has come out this week. So Last Known, what is your thoughts on the potential card game and how that kind of factors in?
So when I first heard about Afterlife, the card game, I was completely caught off guard because I expected some form of card game like in the game, because previously they went with Gwent, which turned out to have huge success, and of course they would translate something similar to that for Cyberpunk. And the idea so far of you becoming a fixer and actually sending people out on missions, equipping them, sounds great. And I think it will work well with other people, especially if you want yourself to be involved in the world without, besides playing the game or, reading the source books and everything. So I think it's great. I wonder like how much that is going to actually sell and live, but because I generally think like the brand itself has been marketed like crazy, and like the popularity of the game now is gonna make this thing sell really well. So that's my take on it. I wonder, like, my main question right now is it going to be released before the game or after the game? Because I think if they have too many like spoilers or anything regarding the main game, I think it's gonna release after. But if they want to build more hype, I would guess before.
I think they kind of have to release it after, just based off the spoilers. They're releasing the lore book after, so why wouldn't the card game follow suit with that? I think there would be too many spoilers in there, even if it's minor characters, stuff like that. Those are considered spoilers, right? So yeah, I think it would be post-launch. Would make sense.
Yes, especially, and if this comes out as, because I'm pretty sure that it was said. I haven't been able to find a like a super direct quote going, yes, this is definitely coming out after the game, but it seems to be that the majority of what the consensus is that this is indeed coming out after the initial release. So if this is the case, 100%, then we can reasonably assume that what we're going to see as far as the release schedule is going to come out afterwards, as well as the board game. And I believe that this is for the main purpose, because this is probably, there's a good chance that this is the app. The way that I think, board games are not necessarily the board games, and the card games are not necessarily like the app versions are not super hot right now. There's the Gwent style / Hearthstone style card games didn't really they haven't really been growing and they haven't really been sticking. So I think that this is something that is not akin to, it's not basically just a duplicate of Hearthstone and of Gwent. I think this is something a little bit different, and I think it plays a little bit differently. I think it plays, kind of from what I was reading, is it seems to play, the format seems to play a lot more like 21, basically, in the form of like kind of a fairly fast quick fire game, and not something that's overly like complicated where a single round can take you like minutes and minutes of trying to figure out what the best outcome would be.
I'd assume there'd be no overlap with anything that Talsorian is doing with, tabletop RPGs. It's hard to wrap your kind of head around how you play this game just based off of their kind of initial description. At least I can't. Maybe someone else can kind of clarify that, but it seems like it's more of a, I don't want to say watered down game, but it's a simpler kind of idea.
I was looking a bit at Command, that is actually doing this card game in cooperation with CD Projekt, and I've been looking at their God of War game, and they do have a teaser trailer for God of War card game, and I could see just a couple of cards there from basically Kratos doing different kinds of attacks, like slash or whatever, which does certain kind of damage. So I'm thinking that this game might work similarly, I don't even know that's word, to this, where you basically like have a character that you pick randomly, and then you also have like random augmentations, weapons, I guess body armor or anything, which is good for the mission. So yeah. And I'm also thinking like how it's going to evaluate if you actually finish the mission. Like you probably roll a dice or something, so it's going to be connected to that.
Yeah. So I mean, you look at the box art, for example, and this is like the box art that they have for the Afterlife game is basically the box art that they have for the Cyberpunk 2077 game. So this is really, 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 really tied in, and if they were to make this available in the game as a mini game, then I think the likelihood of this becoming the main kind of like the main mini game / app game of it is actually quite high.
Wait, are you talking about this particular game being in the game Cyberpunk 2077 game?
Absolutely.
I think they have confirmed that they're not going to have a card game at all.
Well, I think they've kind of like semi-confirmed that, but not necessarily like confirm that. So again, this is no inside info here. This is just me guessing on this, because we know that they've had the temptation to have a mini game within the game and then creating an app that duplicates that game in real life. That is a pretty popular thing to do, and it makes a lot of financial and logical sense, as well as like being a great way to tie in. Sometimes when you have an app game that comes out following a main release, and the app game has very little to do with the actual game that you're playing, there's kind of a disconnect that happens there. And I mean, even thinking back to like Pizak in Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, you had this Pizak game that was basically a form of 21. And it was really, really, really popular, and the players and the fans made multiple versions of it because they wanted it. And then every time that EA's kind of come out with a Star Wars app game, it hasn't exactly gone over very well. So it's like, okay, I kind of see them looking at that, going, all right, well, let's make a better choice here with this next attempt. And yeah, I think that's probably a really good idea. So I think this is a good chance that this might end up being in it, but no guarantees. There's no guarantees. We've never been like 100% on whether or not we're even going to get an app game that is a mini game within the game itself.
I think the app mini game tie-in makes sense. I just don't think it's going to be a card game. I don't think they would overlap that with maybe Gwent. That's kind of an overlap that they have since they're doing a mobile port.
But I think these things play very differently. I don't think they're even in the same category, because Gwent and Hearthstone are really not like the card games that you play. From a marketing
standpoint, when someone hears it, it's a card game and a card game, right? And from initial standpoint. But I do see what you're saying, that they could play very differently, and I think they do, but who knows?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, interesting thing for everyone, by the way. Afterlife is the name of the club where you were supposed to meet Dex after the mission on the gameplay demo. So kind of like the name of the game, it's like, okay, you're in Afterlife, a nightclub, well, a club where you have all these fixers, all these people hanging around looking for business ventures of all kinds. So it's a nice little detail that they added, actually. So that's fun.
I wonder if that whole betrayal aspect is going to be part of the card game, since in the trailer, Dexter kind of betrays you.
I wonder how that's gonna look like, because they said they have like a custom like
dashboard or something.
Dashboard, yeah. So I wonder how that's gonna play out.
I have no clue. And we have the Mad Queen in here.
Greetings early. Sorry for being late. So sorry.
That's okay. We were kind of wondering. So yes, I don't have a clever or obscure intro for you. So welcome, and how's your day?
I ate something that didn't sit well. I'm a little like
Oh.
Which is completely weird because I basically eat only salads and things like that. So I don't know what maybe the tomato wasn't good enough. I don't know.
Well, my inner carnivore is saying, well, there's your problem, is you were eating salads.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. We were just discussing the Afterlife card game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you see the other board game?
Yes, and then there we haven't gotten to that topic yet. Right now, we're kind of on the card game.
Wait, I haven't seen that yet.
What are your thoughts on whether or not we will see this as a mini game within the Cyberpunk 2077 game, Madqueen? What's your thoughts on that?
Go on for a while, and I'll join the conversation later because I need to mentally process the food.
Okay. So yeah, overall, I mean, kind of bearing it in mind, I suspect that there's a good chance that it may be, but again, no guarantees, because they may not necessarily want to duplicate, and we know how much they are against just straight up duplicating without really looking into anything, without changing it drastically, without changing it drastically, like what they've done actually with, Cyberpunk versus The Witcher, and that's why I think they felt like they really should push the first person only instead of the first and third person, because they're like, oh well, then it'll feel too much like our last game, and so yeah, I'm not sure if that's a wise decision, but I think here we'll kind of see how this goes. So the board game, what do you guys know about the board game so far?
The Artelsorian one?
Mm-hmm.
I just saw one picture of it. Like, I'm trying to find it again, but I lost it.
I have not heard about this. Yeah. This is a Cyberpunk board game?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to pull up the board game as well.
Is it connected to Red or 2077?
Well, it seems that it's connected to Red because it was a Gen Con within the stand of Talsorian, but it seems that they didn't announce it yet. They had it there as a surprise, and someone took a picture and posted on Twitter. And it's a combination between cards and figures. Is the only thing that we can see in the picture.
Yeah, so and that's kind of how I figured out that it was not that it definitely was not the existing game, that it was something new, because they had little figurines that haven't been mentioned, and they did, apparently there was some mention in that. So we have to give Jay a thread of doom from the sky of lightning for not having at least mentioned the possibility of this.
Well, it's a surprise. I guess that we will have an announcement shortly about it. I want 3.
As well.
And I don't know what's going to be the system, but in the picture we could see that you had cards for the type of character. One was a solo, and you also had cards for action. So I guess that the combination is the cards, what you do with the cards, and then you move your.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah, Friday Night Firefight, a game of combat in the dark universe. Yeah,
it sounds sick.
Yeah.
Like me.
It does sound very awesome, actually.
Oh, the good old research of zooming in.
Someone post that in the chat. I need to see this.
Just a sec. I found it. Blog of Dark Future, actually.
Okay.
I think I can post a link. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I can see here like defend, movement, rush. So I'm guessing different kinds of movements, and they have these like fields down there that you move like tile to tile and attack people, I guess. So I'm guessing this could be like a fast-paced combat game in that sense.
What it looks like.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder how well this is going to blend like with the Afterlife that CD Projekt is actually doing.
Well, I guess they are separate games. Also, they are developed by two separate companies. I don't think. I guess that the one that it's been developed by, I can't remember the name of the company, the Afterlife. Also were in contact with Talsorian just to get the lore right.
Yeah, come on.
Simon
the
game,
name of the Simon? Is it not come on? Am I pronouncing?
I don't know. I had no idea. I just said
come on.
CMON. Come on game sounded kind of lame, so I just didn't say it.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of high-end games like Bloodborne. They're doing God of War.
They have a Narcos board game. That's pretty cool.
Narcos board game? Really?
Yeah. Come on, does.
Wow.
It looked awesome, but
I'm guessing card games are making a return in a way.
Well, it's cool that I guess that we shall thank that to the anticipation on the video game. The fact that Talsorian Games is, well, not only Talsorian Games, because also there's this book with Dark Horse and there's the Afterlife and a lot of products around Cyberpunk, and it's like Christmas for me. Yeah.
But it makes sense. It makes sense to, if you have an IP of this size and you know that people are gonna love it, people are invested in this, and popularity of this, you're going to use it to push as much content as you can in different areas. So I'm kind of thinking they're doing a really good job on this to really have Cyberpunk on the long run with everything they do. And I'm guessing this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, yes. The more things, the better. Well, actually, I don't know if Pondsmith was joking when he said that, but he said that he was going to release Red, and then shortly before or shortly after the release of the video game, he was going to make another pen and paper game based on the video game.
Oh, you never know.
Would make sense.
Well, but yes, we know this man. He's a troll. So, and I say that like with love, but he's a troll. I still remember his words of nobody said that Johnny Silverhand was dead. And then you go to the book where this is explained, which is stolen from
Luke
and the chapter is titled Johnny is dead.
So Luke the Goon actually confirmed what you just said, because I believe he's the block from the Dark Future. That's his username. He is making a 2077. It's gonna use the same rules as Red, apparently.
What?
You guys can see that in the chat.
Oh my god.
So you were right. He's not trolling.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, the more things that we have on Cyberpunk, the better. We had to play for long years with the second edition because none of my friends liked the third. So we were stuck with the second. Fortunately, we were talking about like 80 books, so there were plenty of adventures to play. But it's good to advance in the lore.
Now all we need is a Netflix series, and we're solid.
There is one thing I always like. There is always one thing when company has this kind of an IP and they start pushing in all the directions. I wonder if that's going to backfire. I always have this fear. If you push way too many things out there, I wonder, like, is it going to be successful? Would you go into something and say, okay, we did all the risk factors and everything, and we think this is going to work, rather than just here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. So
well, I guess I don't know in the side of CD Projekt Red, but in the side of Mike Pondsmith, I believe that he learned the lesson, because this was a problem in the second edition. Because apart from the joke, we're talking about 80 books, and not all of them were written by Talsorian. Well, 82 books, I believe, of the game, and then there was a magazine that was also using the name of Cyberpunk licensed, and there were things of questionable quality, but very questionable quality. Because he started to license the name, and a lot of people started to write about Cyberpunk. And well, I really hope that they learned, that Talsorian learned the lesson, and every new thing that they intend to do around Cyberpunk, there is, a seal of quality that someone is keeping an eye, that it keeps the quality of the rest of the good parts of the game.
Yeah, it's this hashtag, we can wait. Just take your time, think it through, and then at the end of the day, we're going to enjoy it, rather than, just pushing out stuff that generally... I mean, I'm not trying to be a hater here, but when you actually finish production, it's like they pump you with so many risk factors. Like, you don't want to even go do a project. Like, fuck it.
No, I hear what you're saying, because, like, think about if the game is just, like, amazing, blows you out of the water, and then all the other, like, supplemental things around it, like the card game is just, like, not that good. It kind of, like, degrades what the title is in a weird way, which is kind of it's risky when you do too many things at once.
That was actually the problem with Thronebreaker. Amazing game, like the story is insane, but it has a problem that generally it is a Gwent game packaged into this nice story with characters, and a lot of people didn't want to go into Gwent, and like the game is extremely challenging when you play it. So it has a learning curve, and I guess what they said, like, okay, we didn't really get like the major success we wanted with it, and it's kind of understandable because it's a really difficult area to push your product, especially in that sense. So
I think that's fair. Yeah, I agree with you on that sentiment.
Yeah.
So well, I don't believe that it's the same thing, because I put my microphone down because some people on the comments were saying that I'm too loud. Please let me know if I'm still too loud. I went too far with this. I don't believe it's the same example, because Thronebreaker.
You turned yourself up. You turned yourself way up.
Up?
Yeah, you're way louder now. Hold on. I'm adjusting volume.
Okay,
demonetized.
Again? Yeah, I got demonetized again for calling Google a mega corporation.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Do you still have troubles with that? With demonetization?
Yes, I have lots. If it's not the swears, it's because politics, because I talk a lot about politics, what Arasaka does against Militech. I call Google a mega corporation and make conspiracy theories inside Cyberpunk, and a lot of things that it seems that the artificial intelligence doesn't like. Well, in fact, I also had videos with an extreme violence in the past, and
that's one thing. You get demonetized, but they also, like, they don't push your videos if it's already been demonetized, so you're not even getting the views on top of that.
Yes, but in general, my channel, I know it's blacklisted, but there's nothing I can do because I just won't stop swearing.
You just be you. That's all that matters.
Just fight.
Just do your
I
thing.
just can't be any other person. I don't know. If I could, I would be Batman. But And what I was going to say about Thronebreaker, I believe the example is different, because Thronebreaker wasn't a matter of quality. I mean, the game is good, but it was a matter of it's a Gwen game, and some people like Gwen, some people don't.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Like the game itself, like how it's written, how it plays out, it's amazing in that sense. But it has Gwent, and for some people, that's a no.
Well, will they put a card game inside Cyberpunk? They could put Afterlife inside Cyberpunk or something like that.
Yeah.
There was an article that was released a couple days, and they said they rehashed that they wouldn't be doing that. So
yeah,
I think.
So, but again, as we have discovered, as we opened the show with, you can't always believe what they say, because sometimes they have to say what they have to say in order to convince you that it's not actually what's going on, when it is most certainly the thing that is going on.
Yeah, and also it's a very iterative process, and they can change their own minds. So,
So Madqueen, the thing that I had said was that that we opened with was that, remember just a very short time ago where they told us and a whole bunch of other people in the reporting industry that oh, for sure, they are not working on more than one title. They are only working on Cyberpunk, and they are working on no other Cyberpunk-related games at all. And then, what was it, like 2 weeks later, they go, oh yeah, we have a card game coming out that we're really involved with. Remember when that happened? Yeah.
No, yes, obviously. But yeah. at least if they lie, they don't do, it's something that they do for the factor of surprise. It doesn't have, a dark motive. So I wouldn't even consider it a lie. It's a trolling. Yeah, no,
it really is. It really is, and that's, that's fine, because that's what they have to do, and that's and there's nothing inherently wrong with covering your own content. It's when you take it to an extreme or something like that, where it's just unsafe or ridiculous. That's not good either. But so as far as what I'm thinking, and as far as like my general consensus is for the board game, is that I think we're gonna see some more lore and some more tie-ins, but it's a pretty darn good move. And then as far as being oversaturated, to bring it back to the point that you were making there, LastKnown, the same thing could be said for like, McDonald's, right? Or if you live in Canada, Tim Hortons. It's like, it's literally everywhere, and it becomes a staple. So this is where you're like, okay, are they trying to become a staple? And the quick other question is, how many other Cyberpunk games are there right now? And the answer to that is not very many. Certainly not very many in the dystopia kind of like mass future kind of world. Like you have other like kind of what some people classify as cyberpunk. I've heard people try to classify Star Trek as cyberpunk at one point. I don't think that works, because I think that's sci-fi, not necessarily cyberpunk. Madqueen and I have, we had this conversation / argument before. And it's not necessarily what we're. It's not necessarily
argument / one day we're going to kill each other.
So it's not really like, I'm not saying that it's a that this is like a guarantee, but I think what they want to do, or what they're willing to do, is to say, hey, let's be the pillar, the central concept of all things cyberpunk, because this is a genre that could grow into dozens and dozens of different games and into dozens and dozens of different directions. So
and the name helps. Like, it doesn't have like an alternate name set in the cyberpunk subgenre. It's cyberpunk. So that helps with marketing, I guess.
Well, I remember when this game was introduced, that Martin Iwinski said, we're going to make a cyberpunk game, but not any cyberpunk game, the cyberpunk game.
Oh my god.
And then Mike Pondsmith appeared. And then I think that everybody should stand and clap, but then no one did. I feel very bad for it.
By the way, I'm sorry about the background noises. Just the cars, the bikes outside, and they're all over the.
I can't hear anything either.
Oh, good, because someone mentioned like the background noise, weird noise, so it could be that outside. It's great.
Maybe it's in their background and they're not realizing it.
Maybe. You never know, because sometimes I had problems with it, so I'm like, god damn it.
At least there's not fireworks like in Madqueen's last time.
Fireworks?
Yes,
we were like talking about a nuke, and then there was like a big explosion in the background. and we were like, is someone like getting attacked right now? Is the world exploding?
Yeah, like before, like that's the thing with today's age we live in. Like before, it was like, oh, it's fireworks now. Oh my god, is it bombs? Is it gunfight? Yeah. What is going on? Yeah, it's honestly depressing.
The other day I was having dinner with my grandmother that lives in a different part of the city, and I heard 2 gunshots. And she didn't like it. It was the most normal thing of the world. And I said, "Did we just hear a couple of gunshots?" And she said, "Yeah, someone must be hunting." Hunting in the middle of Barcelona.
Hunting for what?
Hunting corpses.
Well, you can get used to everything, I believe.
By the way, did you all? I mean, obviously, everyone saw the new screenshot of the Cyberpunk from their Twitter, like the guy in the holding a rifle, and then like the car behind it. I think everyone saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that
meanwhile,
car
in the background.
Yeah, that car, that's something I want to drive in the game. That looks cool. And like someone like the one thing that kind of made me say like, oh, they really did a great job when someone actually said, oh, nice concept art, and then it's like, no, it's from the game. Like, no, it's not. It looks too good. I'm like, damn. I'm going to leave a link.
I'm sorry to tell you, but if you can drive this car in the game, most probably you're the driver of someone.
It depends where I drive.
You can steal it. You can try to steal it. But as cars have this neural link, I don't know what's going to happen with the concept of stealing cars, because there are cars that work with a neural link that only the person that's linked to the car can use it.
Just imagine doing a mission. Yeah, just imagine doing a mission and everyone is gunning for you and you go into a car and like, oh, good, I can drive. And then get out.
Self-destruction will start in 10, 9.
Or you're driving and they try to like hack back in, so you have to like micromanage between driving and like fending off the like incoming hack.
Oh no, not that.
Well, maybe the car comes with an artificial intelligence. Go figure.
It's like, please turn on, please. Yeah, I also wonder if like our build, like if we take Netrunner for example, if that's going to benefit us when we try to steal cars, for example. As a Netrunner, if you're good with hacking, if your hacking proficiency is high, it's like, oh, I want this car, you go into it and you start driving. Meanwhile, you're, I don't know, solo or something like that, and you're like, God damn it, I have to choose a different way. I think for me, that's a good, nice little detail in the game.
Well, I believe it would be a techie more than a Netrunner.
Yeah.
It's more a technical thing than hacking the computer. I don't know, depending on how cars are built, I guess.
Yeah. Because we still don't know that much about them. Like, in a way, it's gonna be from a technical standpoint, or do we actually need to hack the car to start it or something like that? So we'll see.
Can we threat the car? Start or I will shoot you in the wheel.
It's like, go ahead, I'm an AI. Go ahead, shoot me.
You can also threaten AIs with other things.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, I wonder if AIs are going to be a thing in the game, because they seem like suddenly they are going to have a lot more importance in Cyberpunk Red.
Mm-hmm.
For this thing that Al Cunningham did. And I'm wondering, because it's funny, because in the original past E3 descriptions of the game, they did the frame by frame, I think it was called, that they did at their web. In a couple of screenshots, they mentioned the artificial intelligences, like something that exists in the universe. There are different classes. You have from the most basic, that is an artificial intelligence to move the cars and to move the public transportations, and then you have the most complex ones that are like humans that were extracted by the Soul Killer, or artificial intelligence that were created by themselves inside the net. And also, it also makes me wonder, how are they going to play with this concept of paranoia inside the game? Because paranoia is a very important component. And in the trailer, in the last trailer, we already could see that you could get paranoid that people will betray you. But what about paranoia in the universe? In 2020, for instance, there was this discussion if there were aliens in the net. Rich Baltmus believed that there were aliens in the net, some people didn't. Or if artificial intelligence were going to revolt against Homo sapiens, things like that. Is all this going to be included in the game? What do you believe?
Oof.
Maybe references to it. I don't know if it's actually physically going to be represented. It could be though. We don't even know if Bart Moss is going to be in there, right? But he's referenced because he released all the all the malware in the net, and that's why it's walled off. So maybe references at the very least. I'm not sure.
Well, more than references to Rage Bart Moss. More the references to the paranoia, to the things that were made the people be paranoid about, and not only being betrayed by other people, because it's not. You cannot be paranoid about something that you know is going to happen sooner or later, which is be betrayed by someone you're not useful for anymore.
I mean, I'd assume that's a big element of the game. Maybe we can learn about it through lootable books and the kind of the inspect system. I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
Bro Tech, thank you for just I want to cut you here. Sorry about this. Bro Tech, thank you for 10 euros and greetings to you as well. Okay, sorry.
Shit, I don't remember what was I going to say.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
No, it means that it wasn't very important. Some stupidity. Oh yes, that I would like to see how are they going to explain the law, because this typical thing of collecting things that you can read is it's okay, but it's not like a great solution. And obviously, exposition all the time is also not a great solution.
I think they did a really good job with the intro of The Witcher 3, for example, because they kind of explained the conjunction of spheres and everything in a short way, but it's kind of connected to the current world and what is going on in the Witcher at the moment. So I'm guessing it's going to be something similar to that, like a 3-minute or 2-minute intro where they just say, okay, you had this, you had this, you had this. But I also wonder who's going to explain it, because that's a vital part. Because in The Witcher, it's kind of told... well, I'm guessing the first few games, it was told through I don't know if it was some random bard or was it, god damn it, Dandelion. But I'm guessing they could have. I would definitely enjoy having Keanu Reeves explain the intro into the game. It's like 3 minutes of Keanu just saying, "Okay, you had this, you had the corporate war, that everything changed."
I mean, that would go along with the fact that he has the second most lines in the game. Him explaining the lore and the history and the backstory preemptively.
Well, they could put, I don't know, considering that most people that's going to play the game is not going to know the lore before playing it, they can put the force and the death of Johnny Silverhand as something that it's going to be relatively new for the people that played the game without playing the pen and paper game and without getting information about the lore. So I would really, 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 really love that we're able to play the attack to the Arasaka Towers. And then you see Johnny Silverhand die.
Like a prologue kind of deal?
No, maybe in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm going to explain what happened to Johnny Silverhand.
Like a flashback kind of deal?
Something like that, because in Cyberpunk Red, it's funny how they did Jumpstart Kit. Let's not confuse. Cyberpunk Red is not yet released. They did this thing where the people of Night City didn't know what exactly happened in the Arasaka Towers. So it's something that can be revealed.
Yeah. I mean, because he's in your head now through a chip, I wonder if you actually have his memories as well, or is he kind of locked out as a separate entity inside you?
That's separate entity.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't forget to be a jerk.
No, I mean, can you actually see what happened to him? That would be cool. Every single of his memory into you, I'm like, oh god, oh god.
You have some glitches where it flashes back to his memories of something.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
And you play out that scenario as Johnny Silverhand. Oh man, that would be dope. That would be dope.
There are so many things that would be dope.
It's like people say, is that confirmed? No, this is entirely speculation. Let's just get that out of the way. It hasn't been confirmed. It's not leaked or anything. It's just our speculation on what can possibly happen. So yeah.
Team Bin said no, he didn't say. Luke DeCoon was the one who said Scream Sheets maybe. Well, it's funny because in the Cyberpunk Red, they took. This is a speculation that I did a long time ago, and I'm so happy that I was right. They kept the good things of the third edition, and one of the good things was the data pools and the pulp media. So now we have more ways of having information inside the universe. And the best thing about it is that we can have information by watching the news done by mega corporations. But then you also have the medias in the pulp media that are some sort of YouTubers. And they have their own alignment, Some may be pro corporation, some may be, pro voodoo boys, anti net watch. You can take your information from different sources, and this is something that is very interesting because what they did at Red in this point was is something that is very cyberpunk, but it's also very interesting to see it developed in the game. So at the end of the fourth corporate war, Militech, the government of the United States attacked Arasaka Tower and sent Militech operatives that they had their own agenda. And they dropped a mini nuke inside the Soul Killer labs. So when this happened, the president of the United States, Elizabeth Kress, used it as an opportunity to say that Arasaka were evil and to say that Arasaka was the one who dropped the bomb. And as anybody really didn't know what happened inside the Arasaka Tower, so there were a lot of different theories on different things. So it's a very good way of explaining the law, mostly because also this law is not something that is explained like this is like this. Some people believe this, some people believe that. And now that we have something like the pulp media, that is something that could be represented inside the game, you could have the law explain different ways from different perspectives. Some people believe this is what happened, some other people believe that this is what happened. And this would be very interesting.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah, no, I think that's we're gonna see that. Just to correct the timeline thing that you said there, the U.S. didn't take over Militech until after the corporate war.
No, because yes.
Yeah.
I always say that.
Yeah.
Militech was the main provider of the army.
Yeah. They were chummy before, but they didn't get taken over until after.
Yes,
the
after is what they say.
Yeah. So all right. So you guys talked about the car and the art that came out with that thing, right?
There was another art that was very funny that had a guy in the background that said, "My aliens kidnapped my wife and kids. Help me celebrate."
Yeah. I saw that. We talked about that. That was really funny. I almost want to try that as like a public. I'm tempted to go into public and have somebody put out a sign that says that or says something similar to it and see what kind of how many people give donations or something, because that would be really interesting to see as just as a thought experiment, or maybe as a experiment to see how people would react to that, because honest to God, that's hilarious, and that would be really, really funny.
Now with Area 51 in Spotlight, yeah.
Yeah.
You would have a lot of people coming to you like, oh, what happened? It's like, oh, an alien from Area 51 did that.
People watch too much X-Files, I believe.
So yeah.
It was a meme when I was a kid. This Area 54, 51. What number is it? 51?
Area 54, 54 News. You did overlap there. Are you the alien?
Greetings, Earthlings.
It's like, it's been so obvious all these years.
Right under our noses, boys.
The intro.
Time to raid Madqueen, not Area 51.
I don't have anything interesting. I'm sorry. I'm not keeping the corpses of my friends.
You have salad.
I'm the only person in the universe who likes salad. Everybody likes salad except when they have to eat it every day. It's not that I eat salad that I like salad especially. It's just that I'm incredibly lazy for cooking. But well, I'm lazy when I have to cook for myself. If I have guests, then I take insane efforts doing the food. And actually, I like cooking. It's not something that I don't like doing. If I make pizza, I make all of it, including the base. Same with spaghetti, I make the pasta. But when I have to cook for myself, it's like salad.
Oh, damn. It's different in my end. It's like when I have to cook for myself, it's all like, oh, Gordon Ramsay right here. But when I actually have to cook for everyone else, oh, god damn it. Just eat this. Eat a can of tuna, go, run.
Well, then, I know who I'm going to be visiting first.
Well, first you're going to visit him, so you are hungry enough for visiting me.
Yeah.
You don't make friends with salad. Oh, Mark, you didn't see my salads. My salads are basically lettuce, tomato, and what can I find in the fridge? One day I'm going to put the cat, but she doesn't want to participate in it.
Cat hair salad. Yummy.
Don't mock it till you try it. Apparently cats love it.
Don't trust sprouts. Well, Militech will think like you. If you fail the quest.
By the way, I think... No,
please go on.
I wanted to actually segue a bit into Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit, but I don't know if you wanted something to say.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
So basically, we had the release of the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit, and for everyone who doesn't know what that is, basically Jumpstart Kit is like a starter edition, starter pack for Cyberpunk Red, which is coming out, we don't know when, but it doesn't have like everything. It gives you a really nice introduction, number one, into the lore, then second of all, into how you actually play Cyberpunk Red. It gives you an insight.
We know when it's going to be released.
We know?
Yes, when it's ready.
You had me there. I'm like, what the hell? Did I miss that? But basically, I'm going to
put the link. Excuse me, I'm going to cut you for a second. I'm going to put the link to drive through for people that wants to get Cyberpunk Red.
Yeah.
Jumpstart Kit.
So basically, Jumpstart Kit gives you an explanation about net running, about running a game, about playing the game, about the characters. It also gives you already made characters. I forgot the word for that. Pre-generated characters. So you can just open the box, play an adventure, and just get into it. And especially good for people who never played tabletop RPGs, who don't know the rules, who don't know how it's played out. So it's a really nice addition before the main thing comes out. So I'll leave the rest to you guys.
You pretty much said it all. There's two books. There's a world book, which is the lore. I think that's 35 plus pages, and then there's a rule book, which is somewhere around 45 or something like that when everything is said and done. And so nice
53
primer onto what's going to happen in 2077 and post 2020, obviously.
Yes. And it gives you like a really nice intro to what happened before 2020, and also gives you new information about what is going on. The game is set in 2045, if I'm not mistaken. So it's before 2077. I think everyone knows that, but it's the same universe just before 2077. It actually explains why it's called Red. Because after the Fourth Corporate War, after all of the shenanigans that these big corporations did, the sky was covered in this red tint or red layer for almost 2 years. So the time after the Fourth Corporate War, I guess, until present day, is called Time of the Red. So I finally know why it's called Red. God damn it!
It was the destiny, you know. They knew inside. On the inside, Mike Pondsmith knew that he would end up working with Red.
Yeah. And I was first like, is it connected with CD Projekt Red? I'm like, no, that's too obvious. And then they refer it into, and like, finally.
Well, in fact, I believe that Pondsmith himself explained that it had nothing to do with CD Projekt, the name of Red.
It was just a thought that passed for like a second, and I was like, no, that's not the case. I mean, it's too easy, too obvious, so this makes perfect sense. I love it, like the time of the Red. Huh. Now I want a game set inside Cyberpunk Red, goddammit.
DLC, maybe DLC.
Well, I mean...
Oh, in Raindance?
Yeah.
Raindance, yeah, that too.
And we will see, like, I mean, I'm quite confident that we're going to see this universe expanded on so much more than what we've seen so far. Like, I mean, honestly, there's so much more to see kind of coming out now, and then throughout the next couple of years, we're going to see so much more content over the next few decades. To say, but yeah, no, I think.
Do you believe that video games invented DLCs? Really? Pen and paper games were doing DLCs way before.
Yeah, expansions.
Well, yes, expansions.
Yeah. Deals. Someone says like, "Oh, CD Projekt released 2 DLCs." Shh, I said that once. Don't make my mistake.
Well, they released DLCs on The Witcher, armors and clothing and such.
Is that like a no word to say DLC? Is that like a trigger word for some people?
Yeah,
for some people.
Okay, sorry, chat. Apologies.
No, but CD Projekt does DLCs. It's just that they are for free.
In our original leak of the of some of the content coming down the road, we talked about DLCs, and we said we talked about the expansions, but we said, hey, we're calling these DLCs so that, because they normally call them expansions, so that we're creating a bit of an offsuit. Can't say that damn word. We're creating a bit of a we're hiding some of the language that was used in this one particular leak, and the response was, don't you know that they call them DLC? They call them expansions, not DLCs. It's like, yes, the thing that we just explained. Yes, congratulations, good for you.
And it's like, it's downloadable content, so in a way it is DLC. I mean, it is an expansion, but it's, I would just call it DLC done by CD Projekt. The right way.
There you go.
Yeah, the right way. The textbook example. Also, like, something that we discussed before, it's like something I think you mentioned, Obsidian, about other game developers and publishers. If they see that Cyberpunk is selling well off of the marketing they're using and how they're treating community and everything, we might see more companies saying, "Oh, we're nice. Come here. Come join us. We're nice. Buy our product."
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Witcher 3 expansions aren't really free, only if you buy GOTY edition, or I am wrong. No, DLCs are for free, and DLCs are small pieces of content that are for free, and expansions are large pieces of content you pay for.
Well, say that to EA.
But then you have the pen and paper expansions.
Like, seriously, it's insane the amount of difficulty that we're having with the market right now, and they're not giving up either.
Nope. With every single game, it's the same story, and it's the trouble now. And something they actually did when they said everyone gets the same deal when they buy the game, no pre-order bonuses, nothing. It actually just says how equally they respect the community. Because if there's one thing I hate now in the gaming industry, that's something that EA does. It's like, if you have now they have this EA access or something, which is a nice thing. You get games for free, I get it, but you have to buy the Premier One package, and it gets you 1 week before everyone to the game. You just divide the community in that way. You have people which are going to play the game before that, and if you're a kind of a YouTuber and who does Battlefield, let's say Battlefield, and you don't have any connections with EA, you actually have to buy that because other YouTubers are going to do it, so they kind of push you in that way. So I don't know. It's a bad business practice.
Mark Jackson says, so many people are still so confused by the cyberpunk universe. There are still people on Reddit either posting, why would they use such a boring name for an original IP, or what's 2020? I believe my favorite was one time that Jay posted one of his facts for the countdown for the dark future, and someone answered, well, why do you post this? This has nothing to do with Cyberpunk 2077. And then Mike Pondsmith answered, if this had nothing to do with Cyberpunk 2077, I would have more free time.
It is hilarious how much Mike like
chimes
puts the smackdown on people and chimes in on stuff because it's 100% true. Like there's a lot of like really dumb things that some people say.
My favorite thing was the whole animal debacle. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, stop telling me what to be offended by.
Yes, but that's different because that's clickbait. I mean, that has a dark economic motive behind it. That is getting people to visit your article and then see the advertisement so you can get money. It's just that's a different motivation.
But he's actually responding on Reddit to people who are quote unquote calling him out or whatever.
Because someone put the article there.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah, let's not pay attention to clickbait, please, because we're going to live longer.
True that.
Joke. I can't. How you say Vega? I'm sorry that I can't pronounce your.
Joaquin Vega.
Joaquin. Okay. Thank you for that. It's actually really good practice for corporation, but it's 1000% anti-consumer friendly. Man, like the problem is that those big corporations or companies are gonna fail because of those it's not good in the long run. You have more studios closing now than ever. You have people just being unemployed because they're trying to save money. It's not good for the company in the long run, trust me. They can do it for a couple of years and then people are going to be fed up and they're just going to say, screw you, we're just going to stick with a different company that actually respects our money and our time. So yeah.
150 people watching and only 45 likes. Squish,
we need to push
that like button with all your might. Squish, what's the word?
No, squish it because Squishy is being more, is showing more love and compassion to your keyboard or your mouse, depending on how you have it set up.
Well, that's why I wanted to use something more dirty. I thought you. Well, click that like.
Oh, the rising! Oh my God! Thank you.
It really does help because it's been YouTube is such a weird place right now. It's like all social media is just bizarre right now. It's like no. Everything has to be like tweaked and altered, and then rules are not the same one day to the next. And I'm at this point, I'm like, I'm so confused. I mean, normally social things are like nightmarish for me, but lately it's just been, oof, I can't even.
We're going to make your own brain dance for you.
Yeah. Yes, please.
So you're going to live in the brain dance, then we're going to put you in a fridge like Rage Bodmus, and you're going to be happy.
I think, yeah. I mean, well, no. When do I get to take over the world? I mean, that doesn't sound fun. I don't know. We'll
yeah, but to take over the world, you need to deal with the social thing.
No. That's what I'm saying. Is you take over the social things, and then you just get rid of most of it, and then you force everybody to live in little marshmallow outfits, and everybody. Did you guys ever see speaking of cyberpunk, kind of dystopian futures? Did was it Demolition Man, the Sylvester Stallone movie where he goes into the future and nobody touches each other or like comes into physical contact because of germs and whatnot, and they all greet each other by rotating their hand about 6 inches to a foot away from the other person, also rotating their hand, and they're like, "Good day, hello."
What was the greeting in English? Because I remember it in Spanish.
I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it was like I think it was just greetings. Like, greetings, fellow citizen.
In Spanish was something like proper days.
Yeah, what are the 3 shells for? Oh my goodness, that was the best.
Reindeer to dancing. Good. I'm going to give that.
We should add a weekly little bit where we talk about our favorite Cyberpunk movies, because there's more Cyberpunk movies than I think there are Cyberpunk games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I can think of way more Cyberpunkish type movies way more movies than I can video games. Video games, you get like you get System Shock and Deus Ex, and that's about it.
Well, that's not true. That's not true because I got from GOG all the single game that they had labeled as Cyberpunk, except Cyberpunk 2077, and I believe I have 12.
Mm-hmm. So they now that this has actually been removed from Steam, I feel like we could talk about it now. But there was a game on Steam that was labeled Cyberpunk 2069, and it was the game didn't exist. It was
Cyberprank.
Yeah, Cyberprank 2069, and the person was just basically using it as a form of like giving away, supposedly giving away a copy for it, but it was really shady. Like, everything was just shady. This is obviously trollware, and trollware is not something that we espouse is cool to have up on the Steam store. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Imagine thinking that you're gonna buy a $10 game and then they're gonna give you a $60 game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Well, maybe in a couple of years. How much does The Witcher 3 cost?
When it's been knocked off, yeah.
Yeah. Right now, let me see. Don't know about the price. I think it's discounted like every single month or something like that. Every 2 months, like The Witcher 3 is discounted.
When it's discounted, it's like $20 Canadian.
Yeah, the Game of the Year edition is $49.99 on GOG, and the base game is $40 without sale.
Really? They had when Cyberpunk was announced, they had a pack with all their games. That was the 3 Witchers, Thronebreaker, and Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that apart from Cyberpunk, the rest of the games were like €15, something like that.
Yeah, they do a lot of sales for The Witcher. Yeah, and I think they gave out The Witcher 2 long time ago. I'm not sure about The Witcher 1, but I'm certain they gave out Witcher 2 for free. So I'm guessing maybe in the future, like whenever, that we actually might see The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt be given out for free for a limited time.
A couple, a friend of mine said that recently she opened a GOG account, and as a welcome present, she had The Witcher 1 and 2 for, excuse me, The Witcher 1 and 2 for, I believe it was €2, something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
As a welcome present.
Yeah, but that's very clever, because it's most likely gonna make you buy the number 3, which would probably pay for both of those things a little bit more. It's a good move, and I'm really enjoying the new GOG setup 2.0. I think it's really good, and I think they got some potential there. So.
LastKnownMeal, you need to make a video promoting Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2, when the next time that you do a video about the Witcher series, you need to include the line, and if you want to properly criticize this with all your might as you like doing it, play The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2. The thing is to read the games, to read the books, but anyway, they are not going to care.
It's this disconnect with some people when they're like, oh, they're adapting the games. Like, no, it's a bit different. I
think that is it's super modern. You maybe didn't hear about them books.
No, but you see, like, from one standpoint, CD Projekt did set a high bar when it comes to The Witcher. They actually, like, when I'm reading the books, because I'm rereading the books right now, so I can actually know what I'm saying when the show comes out. Every time Geralt says something, or Yen, or Triss, or whatever, I have the voice from the games. And now it's like when people want to get adjusted to a new world, to a new adaptation with different actors, it has this problem, but you cannot please all. And it's an adaptation. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not going to ruin the franchise. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will take the opportunity to say that I'm sorry for the toxicity in the Witcher series community that you have to deal with.
Oh,
is it that bad?
It's a minority. It's a minority of people, and I try to reason with them as much as I can.
Yeah, isn't it always though, the vocal minority?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it is actually like constructive criticism in some way that I respect, because if someone doesn't like and is being respectful towards them, like saying, okay, I don't like this for this reason, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can dislike something, but when it goes
I
to
mean these ones.
there is the extreme bunch. Yes.
That's the reason why I'm not making more videos about Witcher series. I said, well, I think I'm going to stick to Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. And now when I'm thinking that we discussed a long time ago about like the potential of Cyberpunk becoming a film or a series, it might happen again. if it's not under like close attention by either. I mean, if it's not closely managed by Mike Pondsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is, how many people have said to Mike Pondsmith that his vision is not being properly implemented?
Yeah.
He's working in collaboration with them. How can you even say that?
You gotta love people who stand back and they're like the backseat driver, suggesting that the actual driver isn't even the real driver. And they're like, you're not driving the bus. You're only pretending to drive the bus. The real bus driver wouldn't drive like you want to. And you're just sitting back going, your argument doesn't even make sense. Why?
I will crash this bus into a pole.
Well, let's go back to Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yeah, we kind of went too far.
So now that we are not in embargo anymore, what were your favorite parts of Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit?
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
What were your favorite parts?
Well, I like the fact that they referenced Silverhand and Blackhand still being obviously Silverhand, but Blackhand was quote unquote seen somewhere in 2045. Mm-hmm.
So this is what I said before, that people believe one thing and different people believe other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think overall this is a really good move. Overall, I was just really impressed with the lore and and the story overall, because what they've done is they've made it so that the Cyberpunk universe will stay roughly where it's at for a prolonged period of time, and that's a good thing, because when you're looking at the direction of like a cyberpunk kind of dystopian world, it's like unless they hit a huge barrier as far as like technology or application, you're just going to outpace that so fast, and you're just going to end up making a significant change. It's kind of like as just kind of a quick reference, it's like the any kind of like sci-fi series where you have ships and stuff, and during the progression of the story, it's like the ships get better and better and better and faster until eventually it's like, why are they even using this tech in the same way? It's no longer applicable in this way to make the best kind of an outcome. So I think what Mike has done with the lore is he's made it so that it kind of anchors it in this kind of like the science and tech are kind of stuck in this rut, so to speak, and they're mostly limited due to all the damage to the planet, mostly due to the corruption of the corporations. Is they're stuck in this like little wheelhouse that keeps turning around and around and around and around. And I think this is good, because this is going to allow us to have like a huge section of lore and a huge section of explorable universe within the lore for the next like probably from all the way from 2020 all the way through until probably like 2120, for crying out loud. Mm-hmm. At the very least, if not another 100 years past that. But overall, I think it's a really good move. I'm really excited to see how they're going to be dealing with all of this stuff going forward. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. You want me to go now, or do you want to go, Neon? Okay,
no,
so
I think,
okay, so my favorite part, and I know that this might be not the most popular one, but my favorite is the section about Night City 2.0, because I love the little details, especially about how the city was reconstructed after the Fourth Corporate War. Basically, all the little details that they call everyday things. Yes, everyday things, like all the little details that actually help me get immersed myself into the world. And I think they did a really nice job with this section, because it kind of introduces you into what city you're going to be playing with. And it makes sense because it will help you once you go into a match, an adventure, and you know what to expect. You can orient yourself in a way, like what you can do, what you cannot do, and it's extremely important for the game itself. Because if the lore says don't go crazy outside, you're gonna have police, you're gonna have max stack after you, then you're going to adjust that once you go into adventure. And I was really stunned by the photos that they have here. Some really cool stuff. I wonder how much this is going to find its way into 2077, like some of the vehicles we see, some of the weapons we see. But that was the most important part for me, and one of the best things I enjoyed here. Also, of course, the new rules when it comes to net running and everything. So, yeah, that was my take.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
Trega asks in the questions. Question to Madqueen. Everybody's asking about aliens in Cyberpunk. If you had the power, will you put them or leave it alone? Well, I would. If I had the power, I would put it exactly the same way as it was in Cyberpunk 2020. I would put little hints that there might be aliens in the net. Then you will find them up in. But then you can ask the people. So are there aliens? No. What are you, conspiracy paranoid? And other people, no, yes, of course there are aliens in the net. That would be more funny because now in Red they changed the law in space in 2020, because the law of space is until 2025, and they changed everything that happened after 2023. And from 2023 to 25, humans colonized Mars, which they removed from the law. And I'm pissed because I already had a video on Mars colonies ready for the channel. Now I have to throw it away because there are no Mars colonies anymore. But they gave more importance to the High Riders.
You don't know that there could be Mars colonies. They just haven't been official. Maybe they've gone to Mars and they've discovered a bunch of aliens, and that's what started this whole event.
Well, no,
okay, I'm really stretching there. I'm really stretching.
It is said in the law that they tried to colonize Mars and wasn't successful.
Yeah.
So they went back. Back in the day when I was doing the videos, I asked Ansorian if what are they going to do with the law in space, because they already said that they were going to change everything after the 4th, and it's like, well, the colonization of Mars happens after the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And I already did the commercial for Terranova. But yes, I hope that this means that in the future we can see an expansion of Cyberpunk 2077 that takes place in space, and we get to meet the High Riders, and we go to Crystal Palace or to O'Neill 1 or the Galileo Cylinder. I have no interest in going to the moon. I'd rather one of the space colonies because they sound, sound funnier, especially Crystal Palace.
Yeah, some mystery you have to uncover there. That would be cool.
But yeah, I expect that in Cyberpunk Red they are going to expand everything that has to do with space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of things that they didn't put in the Jumpstart Kit because it's not ready, and this is like an introduction. But even though it doesn't have everything that the source book will have, the big one when it comes out, it can still be great for people who want to go into this, and it's still going to give you a really nice overview of the things that happened and things that happened before, which is the new lore, something that we didn't know before we got the Jumpstart Kit. So yeah.
And it's funny because the name of the time of the Reds, one of the factions that is responsible for this name is the High Riders. This is one of my favorite factions.
Mm.
The High Riders, for those who are listening and have no idea what I'm talking about, the High Riders are the people that live and work in space. And it's like the Belters in the Expanse, something similar.
Mm.
They're based in Africa, right?
They are mostly they are mostly African, but there's also European and Asian people.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all the people that went to work to space.
Mm-hmm. And I like that they mention also like the world beyond. In the time of Red, they mentioned the Euro Theater, they mentioned Africa, they mentioned the Middle East, Asia, Central and South America. So that's something I wanted to see at least. Like what is going on the outside world now that the world is changing a lot.
Well, the fourth affected the whole world. It's not only affected America.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would like to know. Please go on.
No, I'm done.
I would like to know what happens with the rest of mega corporations, because the neocorps, which is a concept that was also on the third. I don't know why they call it the neocorps in the Reds, but I guess that it will be explained in the whole game. But I guess that a lot of the neocorps are the ones that we can see in the gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077 that are not in the original lore, like a neural net protocol, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed very powerful because they were everywhere.
I think you cut out.
Oh,
yeah, you cut out there.
Oh yes, sorry. I said that the neocorps, that I guess that this is going to be tied directly with the video game, because we saw new corporations that weren't in the original lore, like the neural net protocol, that seemed very powerful because they were everywhere.
Yeah, but I like how that changed, because there is actually I just found it that when they're talking about the mega corporation, they say like the result is that in the time of the Red, the megacorps aren't all that mega anymore. These corpos, as they're dubbed on the street, are closer to what corporations were in mid-20th century. Local companies, powerful on a regional or even national scale, but without the enormous international reach of the roaring 2020s. So that also changed a bit when it comes to their power.
Yeah, I think what that does is that it successfully lets you have, instead of maybe like less than, close to about 100 or a little less corporations in 2020, I think what you have now is you have thousands of corporations, and I think that plays better into kind of like the dynamics of what they can, of how the world can move forward and be kind of good.
Gives you the ability to have more of an impact, right?
And it lets you
24/7. It's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, and then it lets you kind of play around with a lot of lore and a lot of options for some of the story as well. So I'm really excited about that.
We also had a nice question from Tereka Vinigan. My pronunciation of names is terrible today. Question for the panel: if you can have any weapon or cyberware in life, which one would it be?
Probably the mantis blades, because you can get into so much trouble with that, and then you're like, "What do you mean? I don't have any weapons?" And they're like looking around for weapons, and you're like, "I don't know. Dude just exploded. He must have had too much coffee this morning or something. That'd be kind of cool, I think."
And how would you do it in the airports?
Oh well, I mean, after you they search you, they'll be just like stupid machine. So trust me, I've been through this exact scenario before.
Union? Oh, sorry, I thought you finished.
In terms of cyber, I think we've talked about this before. I'd probably go
weapons,
with
weapons.
Weapons?
No, the question was weapons and cyberware.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's cyberware then. Full.
I'd say paint editor. That would be the most. That would be useful. Don't get no pain.
Ooh.
Or like a cyber liver or something.
Cyber liver.
What were you trying to say?
Drink all the time. That would run you up a bill so fast.
You know what? I'm down for it.
Do full conversions count? Do I just get a full conversion kit? Because I could just do that.
Shit, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. Let's go for that. I changed my mind.
Ask Raven. But they're expensive.
Mm-hmm. He didn't say anything cost related.
Sorry?
I said he didn't say anything cost related. He just said which one. And I mean, if there's no cost associated with it, then yeah, I'm grabbing myself full conversion. I don't know what body type I'd grab, but yeah, some kind of really cool full conversion. And then live for like the next 100 years or so, at the very least.
I would go with Kiroshi optical scanner. I don't know, for me that's the number one thing I would probably get. It's imagine going anywhere you want and it's oh, you have this, I found that weak spot there. I think it would be the most useful thing, because I agree with the Mantis blades there, Sib, but how would it would really fit, because it's oh, you have these things, let me just get that off of you real quick. But with Kiroshis, that would be really cool. Imagine going through security with them, no one notices. There was that. Oh, contact lenses, nothing special. I have bad eyesight. Don't know about the weapon though. Probably
smart rifle. That would be an obvious choice. You don't even have to aim.
It's just sit and just spam. Would be cool. But I would.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I would rather just have the car. Yeah. If I could choose, if I could forgo everything, just have give me the car. Give me the Quadro.
Which? Oh, that one.
Yeah. Just give me the Quadro.
That would be stolen so fast.
You don't want the six. You don't want the 6-wheeler from the new screenshot.
Not really. When you scared me with all that AI and everything, god damn it! It's
see, paranoia is a key component.
There you go.
They wouldn't be able to steal Quadra. That wouldn't be that easy. I mean, say to people you cannot do something, they will prove you wrong.
They will find a way. Yes.
Yeah.
Way too many people with way too many time.
True.
Well, I think I would go for a neural plug or some sort of interface to be able to use brain dance. I think that's my favorite thing of the universe. Every time that I think of it, it's oh, that would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Living video games from the inside.
Yeah.
Like VR, but better. It's oh, that would be fantastic. Brain dance is the most impressive thing inside the Cyberpunk universe applied to all life. I mean, while I don't especially would like to live in the kind of society that Night City is, although we more or less do, let's face it. But yes, this is the only thing that I would really love to have, brain dance.
I've got to point this out though, because you didn't stipulate getting a library of brain dances at the same time. Basically what this would leave you with would be the only brain dances that you could play would be your own, because you're the only person with the brain dance. And so
I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't complain because I made a lot. I could record them and then relive them later. It would be interesting.
Imagine if you were stuck in one and it would. Imagine if you were stuck in one and it was just like that. What's that movie? Groundhog Day. Yeah. The one where it repeats over and over. That would be horrible.
There's a Paris here. Hello.
What's up, Paris?
Hello. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the future of games in a way. I mean, the distant future, not that close, but
wait.
Games.
Before that, we need to have a decent VR.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you get motion sickness.
Not really. It's odd because I don't get motion sickness in VR.
Really?
Yes.
Nothing.
Oh.
Interesting.
But way less than for instance. I mean, I get a lot of motion sickness in first person, then a little motion sickness in third person, but nothing on VR. Nothing.
Really? That's surprising. I'm the complete opposite.
And when I was a kid, there was an arcade next to my place that they had VR, and they had this floor that was made like with balls, and you could run in different directions without moving from the place you were, and it was super funny. And I've been playing VR since I was a kid. I never had a single problem.
Yeah, no, VR is completely different because your head is actually in the world, and so most people who suffer from motion sickness through watching like first person stuff don't suffer from the same motion sickness as soon as they step into a VR head. As soon as they're given a VR headset, as soon as they have that, because I've done a lot of VR too, and it's exactly the same. It's like as soon as I'm in the game, I'm fine. If I'm watching it, I was watching a lot of the gameplay for the new Outer Worlds game, and that is going to be so rough. I couldn't get through about 60 seconds of it, and I felt like I was going to hurl. I was like, well, this is going to be a really, really difficult game, and at this point, I don't even know if I'll be able to, I don't even know if I'll get it until there's a mod for it, because it's like there's games that are bad, and then there's games that are really bad for the motion sickness, and this one seems to trigger all of those, because all of the YouTube footage, just a nightmare. Could absolutely zero ability to play.
Isn't it an Epic Games Store exclusive?
No, it's also in the Windows Store.
Oh, I thought it was exclusive from Epic.
It's on the Windows Store. It will be on the Windows Store day one, and there has been some interesting hobnobbing between Steam and Microsoft may form a deal in which any of their games are available to be played, not bought, but played on the Steam store as well. So that would mean that this whole deal of exclusivity could be shoved right up, whose thingamabob, and that would just be so funny. I would die laughing. I seriously, best possible ending to that scenario.
Please don't die. Then it stinks.
Oh God, that would be so funny. So we'll see how what ends up happening. But these are the rumors that I've been hearing. Nothing but rumors. No. I'm not settling into any kind of leak. But my God, do you realize how hilarious that would be?
Yeah, totally.
About a week beforehand, they were like, "Oh, hey, by the way, it's available on Steam because we made this deal," and they're just left holding the bag. Oh God, that would be so funny.
Yeah, that would
completely... It's not like 2K and Private Division have been making friends with Microsoft. There's been significant amount of shots fired back and forth. And what are 2K and Private Division going to do? Just go exclusively to PS4? That's it? Like, okay, sure, do that. Cut your profits by 60-80%? Good job. Yeah, that'll work over real well for you. Idiots. Sorry, I've got a bit of a bone to pick. Sorry. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week for... Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think, is there anything else that somebody wants to add? And we'll do a last round of quick questions if somebody wants to fire them out. But do you guys have anything else to add?
I was just gonna add, we did forget to talk about the PSX Extreme article.
What?
The Polish magazine with some new details. They had New Game Plus, and then they had 2 Nomad factions, the Aldecados and the Wraiths, I believe. That were.
Oh God, I missed that.
Last week?
What's that?
Didn't we talk about?
No, it came out midweek. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we talked about the Aldecanos.
Yeah, I forgot we talked about that on our podcast.
Oh, did you? You guys did already?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not too much to it.
It's just a bit more.
Fact that it's New Game Plus. That's a cool feature. Hope we can get it, because that would be fun. It gives some extra incentive to actually doing a playthrough and doing a new playthrough a little bit differently than you would before, or to just do like Iron Mode playthroughs, which is an extremely, like, God, that's such a long time. Like, you treat it like a roguelite, where you play until you die or finish a game, and then you just start it over, New Game Plus, and you just keep on doing that until you get until you're happy with the ending that you get. That's pretty cool, I guess, because then you can try different routes and different ways of solving it. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And then as far as the nomads go, we don't really have too much on them until they start showing us exactly what they are and how they function.
Well, the Aldecanos, I mean, that's the oldest of nomad families.
Then I think they said something about Raph and Shiv a while ago, and now the most recent one is the Wraiths. I actually don't remember where the Wraiths come from. Madqueen, do you know what the Wraiths are? WRAIGHT.
You'll have to write it down for me because
Yeah, I'll post it in the chat.
I mean, when you're talking about the New Game Plus, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm excited about the New Game Plus, especially because, okay, you finish that, now you want to move on to a different class or do something differently, like become a Netrunner kind of a build if you went with the solo build here. I don't know, like, sometimes I enjoy New Game Plus, sometimes I don't. It really depends. Like, I think Dark Souls 3 had a very disappointing New Game Plus. So I'm guessing like they increase the levels, they also like increase the damage you do, the armor and everything, the damage you deal. I don't know, I would just rather go with a new playthrough, but depends like how the New Game Plus is going to look like. Like what benefits we have from going New Game Plus rather than just going with
I think it's more for people who have time constraints, possibly. It's more accessible to them instead of starting a new playthrough.
Well.
Oh, you put it in the comments. I thought you were going to put it on Discord.
I guess I wanted chat to see it too.
Mark Jackson actually asks, I think this is a good question. So which life paths are you guys going to choose?
Before we go on, no, the Wraiths, as far as I know, is none of the 7 nations. So
yeah, that's what I thought. So it's a new one, or it might be the renamed Raph and Shiv. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know.
We'll have to see.
I don't. Weren't they were named in the Red, right?
Yeah.
The only nomads that are named are the Aldecanos, I believe.
I think so.
No. We'll see.
Now, please go on. I just wanted to make the information to.
Oh, there was a question about life paths. Did you guys think about that?
I would really love if maybe a couple of this. I'm sure that this is not going to happen, but I would really love that it happens. That we have a description of all the possible options inside the game when you create your character and when you upgrade your character, and if not cyberware, the skills and the perks and how can you build your character with enough time to think about it. So in your first playthrough, you already know what you're going to do. And I really hope that it doesn't turn into the system of The Witcher 3.
I would just go with.
What do you mean by that? I hope it doesn't turn into the system that is The Witcher 3.
In The Witcher 3, you have in one hand the perks that you upgraded, and on the other hand the perks that you were using.
Oh, okay, in that sense. Okay, yeah. No, I agree with that.
And the only thing we know from the gameplay that was shown E3 and is going to be shown at Gamescom, it's already been shown? No, not yet. Is that it's like some sort of ramification, but they didn't specify if perk that you spend points on is perk that you're going to be able to use.
Okay.
I think
I will just go with.
You're gonna be Street Kid too?
Yeah, I'm gonna be Street Kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be tempted to be a corporate so that I can look down on everybody. No, I'm just kidding. No, probably Street Kid because it's just more interesting from like a narrative perspective. It's probably like this game is. I hope to play this game in as gritty in a dark fashion as it possibly can, and I think that's probably the best path for that. So it'll be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, because when you think about it, it's like which people you actually want to side with. If you're a street kid, obviously you're gonna spend more time talking with the people in the streets, the low life thugs, whatever. And if you want them on your side, you're gonna go with that. But if before creating a character you say, I actually might benefit more from corpos.
Well, I'm sorry, but having a corporate background, furthermore, if you are trying to talk with the competition of your corporate background, I mean, being a corpo doesn't automatically make you friends with any other corpo in the universe. Probably enemies, more problem than friends. So let's be careful with that. Because it's not all like nomad. I'm going to be friends with all the nomads. This can also be a feature that can create you enemies, not only friends. You are too optimistic to play a Cyberpunk game.
It's like, don't trust people. I'm like, God damn it, I believe in people and they're good.
You have to do what you have to do to save yourself. And if you can do some good along the way, good. But just don't count on it.
Oh yeah, no. First and foremost, I'll try not to get Jackie killed.
Yeah, if this is in the game, I'm going to get him killed probably because I'll start shooting all the time.
I wonder if you can kill him yourself. You can like betray him so badly. If you have like a corporate background and he's like a up and coming cyberpunk like you would theoretically be, but you have that like corporate background.
Yeah, but a corporate background may mean that your parents were corporates and then you had the corporate education, and then the corporation that your parents used to work to betray them and kill them, or kill them in an extraction or whatever. That you had certain connection with corporation doesn't mean that when you're grown up you have any kind of sympathy for any corporation.
Well, it can mean a variety of things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right? It depends on how adaptable it is.
Maybe what it means is not who you are friends or who you are enemies with, but that you know how they work.
Okay, that's fair. Different. It could be both, I suppose, right? We have to see how robust the actual system is, because it could be both. But imagine you just offing Jackie.
I wouldn't kill Jackie.
That's savagery right there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kill Jackie. Oh, Jackie, my love. I wouldn't kill Jackie.
It's like in the end of the game, like you have a stats and like people killed Jackie. It's like 0.1. It's like, we're gonna hunt those people down.
It's not good.
Don't make an achievement for it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't encourage people.
No. Fuck, if they make that this is the breathtaking achievement.
It's like
the breathtaking achievement is that you
just start new game.
Sorry?
You cap him and you start new game. Like, I got the achievement, now let's do it properly.
The breathtaking achievement is that Jackie doesn't die in your gameplay.
Oof.
For the people listening, that's speculation.
Yes.
Speculation. But imagine that. That's a real breathtaking achievement. This or that you kill someone at Arasaka.
You're breathtaking.
What was the original one they're pushing for? It's 100% completion would be your breathtaking? Is that what the original one was?
Yes, but that's not very original.
That's kind of boring. Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah. It should be something really, really stupid. No. Jackie surviving. This is the one that is breathtaking. Or taking someone's breath away. If someone stops breathing, you're breathtaking. I'm going to name my first weapon the Breath Taker.
It's an achievement for just killing one person. Breathtaking. Everybody gets it.
Oh god.
It's like the simplest one to get.
That would actually be really funny.
Then, like I said, kill someone with poison. Well, yeah, actually, I believe that you can put poison in the mantis blade. So.
And why not just stick to like finishing everything in the game? You're breathtaking. Why do you have to kill people? God damn it!
Because this is so boring. The Platinum for the breathtaking. So boring. We need something more interesting.
Rise Against them says hack their lungs.
Yeah, hack their lungs. That's an idea that I like better than having the breathtaking achievement on the Platinum.
I think the real breathtaking achievement will be when you choose to in the ruins of the Arasaka Tower, and you find the giant nuke, and you decide to turn it on and vaporize pretty much the majority of the city.
That will be a little Fallout 3.
Yeah, little bit.
No. It's like you suffocate someone, and then there is Johnny Silverhand behind you, like saying, "Oh, breathtaking." We'll see.
They'll come up with something.
They'll have to make a song. Yes.
I trust them.
Well, we've been here for 100 minutes.
Ooh. Time flies. Man.
Saying stupid things, mostly. That's what happens when there are no news.
Yeah, it's like the lack of news. It's like, but we'll still find a good way to fill the time, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm having fun. I don't know. I'm having fun.
Naming guns.
Plus, we're 2 weeks away from Gamescom and then PAX West, so we'll have a ton of things to talk about.
Yes, we'll have tons and tons of things to talk about.
Imagine when the game comes out. Oh my god. It's like 3-hour podcast, the intro.
Well, I'm going to make the podcast while I'm playing.
Oh.
Because no one is going to interrupt my gameplay.
It's just 3 hours of like radio silence. Nobody's talking. They're just too focused on their own game.
And I imagine the typical person that comes to your place to sell something, knocking on my door. Like, oh boy, you don't want me to open.
Not now, I have a city to burn, god damn it.
Well, I'm still afraid that at any moment, any of my is going to, well, not knock, it's going to knock my door down, it's going to pick me by the neck and shout to me, "Yes, I can feel it, stop it with the song."
All right. Want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we're good. So yeah, any other? I'm trying to check here for any other questions. No, I think we're good. So all right, who is on next week?
I believe it's Neil. Last known?
No, wasn't Tyler.
Oh, you were last week. Sorry.
Yeah, last week.
It's me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's you. Yeah, I think it's you. Yeah.
Let me check.
Pretty sure it's you.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
Give me a second. Is yes, it's me. Next weekend is me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so join us for the next podcast, number 20 on the Madqueen's channel.
Damn.
And we'll be do we have a guest that week, or have we not confirmed that one yet?
We didn't confirm this one yet.
So we have some guests in the works. It's going to be pretty exciting. Can't wait for the news coming out of Gamescom, and then the news that will follow with the big public release coming out from PAX West at the end of the month. We are in countdown mode, basically. Mm-hmm. It is the 4th. We have basically like 4 more weeks to go, and we're going to have ourselves some pretty juicy info. So we of course are going to be covering that nonstop, and having, between all 4 of us, we're going to be having crazy amounts of content for that. Check us out. We have on our channel this week, we had a lore dive. You can find it in our most recent videos. We had a lore dive into Cyberpunk Red, and we talked and had this amazing voice actress go through a story that I myself and Ash penned. So if you are interested in kind of getting a lore perspective feel from kind of a more lore perspective, then check that out. What have you guys done for the Red videos? Neon, I know you put out one video every day for like the last week, so that's pretty good.
Yes,
do you have anything you want to particularly highlight on that one?
When it comes to Red, nothing that I've been working on. Just tomorrow is my GOG Galaxy. I'm pretty late on that one. You guys have already done that, but yeah, that's the only thing I have right now.
And last time, what have you?
Everyone who is interested in Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit, besides the lore video, you can actually look at the review that I did. Also, Neon did an overview and first impression of the Jumpstart Kit. Did you, Madqueen? You did a nice video about transhumanism, which I enjoyed. So everyone, go check that out.
Thank you, I appreciate. I'm also preparing. I believe it's going to be 1 hour long video with all the law explained, all of it.
Oh,
nice.
Well, all of it. I have to skip some things because I didn't want rings size
5-hour video.
Yeah. So I had to skip some things, but yes, I'm going to try to cut it to avoid it to be 1 hour long, but more or less that's what I have, 1 hour long video on law. All of it.
Nice.
Also, Paris, you're in the chat. Thanks for popping by. And also, if you want to, I know you headed off to Gamescom, so anytime you want to hop on, both before or during, just let us know, because that'd be really awesome. So, all right, have a good weekend, everybody. For those of you in Canada, have a very good long weekend, and don't work too hard, and enjoy the barbecue, and don't get eaten by mosquitoes, because, well, they've just discovered a new 3-foot one. So yeah, that's probably going to be fatal. So just heads up on that. I'm sure it's not too much of an issue. But all right, have a good one.
Peace.
See you.
Bye.